Hello everybody and welcome back to the second part of exploring my test world, or whatever I decided to call this. At the end of the last episode I explained how I just cut the footage in half and turned it into two episodes because I went on talking about what's in my test world for so long. I thought I'd split it up into two videos. So this is the second part. Okay, so what else have we got? There's so much stuff to have a look at. I think this is a primitive version of that. I just MC edited it over there. We have some sort of farm going on here. I think this is when I made my stackable farm. I kept trying to compact it and come up with different ideas. So the stackable farm, if you haven't seen that, was like you have a ladder and you go up, and then from standing on the ladder you could replant everything on one layer. And you go up to the next one, do the same thing, and then you can use the piston to just extend over and stop the water flowing over it. And then you use the water to harvest it as well. So we kind of gone over that area a lot, and then background over here. So this is the enchanting table, the old setup. So these just control different sets of pistons, and the idea was the amount of pistons that you could control with each of these levers. They were done in a way so you could get a wide range of combinations for different levels of enchanting, but everyone just uses the maximum level anyway, it seems, since things like ender farms have come along. So this right here I think is actually the stackable farm that I was talking about. I remember it being built with vines. At the moment it's been activated, but if we go back out, there's a lever down the bottom here, so let's hit that. And now the water turns off and you can plant all your crops while you're holding shift and hanging on the vine. So you see over there we can reach those blocks and just plant all of those and then go down to the next layer. And then all of the drops will make their way to the bottom when you harvest it as well. So that's what the stackable farm was. We've got a cactus farm over here that I worked on. This was really bad because I made this and then didn't think too much of it. I thought this works. What I should have done is use signs, because if you place a sign and then another sign here, it will still clip the cactus. But when the cactus clips and goes against the side of the block, it then falls down and lands on the cactus. So if you have a sign there, it goes right through down into the water. So what is this? This is another design, I think, with pistons above. And that's the one we looked at a moment ago. So there's another one of these that I want to show you, and it is over in this direction. It is this one right here. So the redstone is really large, and this is just because it was a long time ago when I didn't know how to compact as well. The idea here that I had was that you could control it with a little bit of animation. So you would tell it how many bookshelves you would want to have around it, and then it would sort of move from one state to the other. It's kind of hard to describe. So if we hit this, yeah, I thought for a second it wasn't going to work. That's how it works. And then if we go hit this again, you see it go back the other way. So what I wanted to be able to do was manipulate how far that could go along. So let's have a look at where these blocks are. If I'm to add a lever, say over here, and we push that back like that, then that thing rolls back to that point. I love this. I've got to work on this again. This is so cool. It rolls back to that point, and so then if you were to say, actually I want to go to this level, then it would roll back to that point there. And then you say, actually give me all the levels back again. And then they go round in that order, and I think that was such a cool idea. That might be a little bit more doable now with things like comparators, so I'm going to have a look at that again. That is a really cool design. I got quite disappointed that I never really finished it. I think I ran into some complications somewhere along the line, or maybe I got discouraged by how big this was, but of course could have compacted it as I got going. I can look at this already and think, you know, now that I've got a bit more knowledge of redstone, if I put that there and then have that there, then this can be the starting point for that, so I can move it over by one block, and all of this here could probably be compacted as well, but they're a bunch of sequential aggregates, and then they get extended over to this side over here. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. That's good to know it still works. So this thing right here is the first version of my potion lab that you can see over there. We'll go to that in a second. I just want to see what this is quickly. Some sort of mob farm that I was working on. So yeah, this is the first primitive version of this thing over here. This is my potion stand, which I do believe I've done a video on but never done a tutorial because of its size. But the idea here was rather than selecting, I don't know, you've seen all sorts of different automatic potion brewing stands. Well, back then this wasn't automatic. But what I wanted to do is be able to select any type of potion possible. So I thought what you would do is select the potion by its name, and it would give you the correct ingredients for those ones. Then you could increase the duration with redstone, or leave it how it is, or you can increase the potency with glowstone, and then you've also got this optional thing for splash. So if we go around the top here and have a look, where to start? Look at all of this, there's tons of it. I really don't know. It's not coming back to me. Okay, so this pink bit around here I do believe gives you the nether warts. No, it gives you the bottles. Well, I won't go into too much detail because I don't really know exactly what's going on here anymore. But the splash is a simple T flip-flop, so that sends a signal. Anyway, so the back bit where you make your selection for what type of potion you want, I think it turns one of these off or on, but they're all on at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to struggle to explain this without like looking at it and figuring it all out again. But one thing that I can explain is that different potions have different ingredients. So this one has a nether wart, then it has one type of potion ingredient and another one here. And so when it gets activated, I think this actually just gets turned off for a moment. It then sends a signal onto the line below using the redstone torch. So it's like we're storing information with these redstone torches, and then when we want to use that information, we're going to send it onto the lines below them. And so depending on what one we select, we get a different outcome each time. And then this just goes over to each of the different ingredients. So we've got sugar, ghast tears, fermented spider eyes, and magma cream. And so this over here, not a clue what that is. Something I was doing. There's a load of redstone down here. Oh, this is from Asuma's world. Ah, okay, I know what this is. So when I was working on my farm that I had in Asuma's world, I was having trouble with the redstone or something, so I copied and pasted it out of the world to work on it down here. So there's tons and tons of redstone stuff going on. Although this looks quite different from the end result if I remember. But yeah, that's what I was working on. This over here, not too sure what this is. I think this is something someone else sent to me when they were doing some testing with how far mobs can shoot at you or something like that. I think that might have been SoCar. So we've got some random lava griefing. We have another animal breeding machine design over here, which looks well and truly broken. This would be one of the third or second ones, I think. And that building over there, yeah, you might recognise that. We'll go over there in a second. Let's have a look at what this is. This is something else that someone sent to me as well, and I didn't really know what it was or how it worked. This is my tree farm design. You might recognise this. This is the second one. Let's clear the weather. So this was in a video that I put out. Apple Tree Farm 2 it's called, because you'd also get apples from it, which is something that I liked. But this is the second design of that. So that's really simple stuff there. This is some sort of chicken farm design maybe? I don't know what that is actually. Or it could be a mob softener. Let's have a look. Where's the input? I actually don't know where the input is. Okay, never mind. Let's move on. Let's go and have a look at this building here. That's actually the same building over there, I do believe. Except that one has a cat in. So, yeah, when I made this video right here, this was for my animal breeding machine. I just started building a little building for it, and it actually turned into quite a nice big project, as you can see here. And a lot of people commented on how cool the building was, and inside we had all of the breeding machines, and you can see this looks really cool inside here. And I thought that was really nice that I invested some time into, you know, adding a little bit of aesthetics to go along with the machine itself, and people really responded to that. And then I think I was going to do the same thing, but I didn't really have the time, so I modified it and put the cat head in, and then I thought it looked silly, so I didn't bother with that. But yeah, the breeding machines for this one right here I think are over there, so we're going to have a quick look. This is where I was testing and trying out different things with different animals, and yeah, copying and pasting and editing all the different breeding methods, cells, whatever they're called. Yeah, so that's what these ones are over here, and these are royally messed up. I think they've been broken for a long time. There's a skeleton burning to death in that one. This must have been the second or possibly first design, when they were really bulky and had like tons of pistons to control them and just were not simplified enough really. Yeah, this is like the first one, I think, must be. So these were the ones that went inside that building, these ones here. I remember because they have these little things for the baby animals at the front. So these guys here were once baby animals. Saying that though, back at the time when these were made, they probably weren't even baby animals, so they've probably always been like that. But anyway, let's see what else there is around here. These things up here, this one is my own mob spawner. We're going to see some other mob spawners as well. Let's just reload the world because they're not coming up. Yeah, this is... I had a video on this one as well. It looks like something weird's happened here, like some of the mob spawners been lost. But this is one of the first ones with the shifting floors. And in fact, this is actually the first one right here. So let's go and have a look at this. Now, this was like a big step forward with mob spawners, the shifting floors. I think I was working with H on an idea. He had something with flushing water with mobs, or I don't know what it was, but then the idea popped into my head that if we had gaps in the floor and we moved the floor, then the mobs would fall through them. So you shift the floor from side to side. The mob that's standing here is then above the fence gates, and then they fall through. And to show you that it works, we got a creeper right there as well. So he's obviously spawned inside and wandered off because this thing isn't working. And I also MC edited half of it out when I added this thing. And then not long after that, people realised that you didn't even need these fence gates right here. You could just have solid blocks going across the whole way, because when the floors shifted, the mobs would actually fall through the blocks and then they would take damage. And then later on we realised that you should use half slabs, although it appears not here. However, at the time that this came out, I think mobs couldn't spawn on upside down half slabs, so even though they were level with the ground, they couldn't actually spawn with them. And yeah, so that's what that is. And what I wanted to tell you is that some of these aren't mine. These ones over here were made by Automator MC. He sent me them, I imported them into my world, and I don't think I ever really got the chance to look at them. But these are his designs over here. I think he's got one with the shifting floors here, you can see, and he's put down some half slabs to stop spiders from spawning. Although I'm pretty sure you can lay them out more efficiently than that. But yeah, I never really got the chance to look at these. They just got imported and then kind of left there. So these things right here are Red Eyes' slime farms. He came to me with the idea to make a slime reducer. I think someone had commented it on his video about it, and he realised that no one had made, or that we were aware of, had made a slime reducer before, and he was working on a few different designs. I think a lot of the time he was working with lava and crushing, and so he came to me with this and was like, you know, I've had a go at this, it didn't work out too well, maybe you had some ideas, and we end up both making a video on the idea and then putting those videos out at the same time. So this one here looks like my finalised design actually. In fact, why don't we put some slimes in there and just see it in action, because it still works. I'm going through all the wrong menus here. There we go, spawn slime. Let's put a few in there. Okay, so he jumps up and he gets damaged. Now I was hoping he was going to jump for a second there, because if I remember correctly, didn't we do that just a moment ago? The smallest slimes can never jump up and hit that lava, only the bigger ones can, and when they get set on fire they always fall down far enough that when the new ones that are made jump up, they don't hit it either. So the big ones will hit that one there. Give us a big one. There we go. They'll divide up into smaller ones which won't hit that lava. And then let's watch what goes on here. So, are these guys going to jump? No. They jumped a little bit, but they'll never hit that lava there. And the trapdoors here are actually really important, because if the big ones, I think, move over far enough, it can do something different. I can't remember quite why that's there, but it's there for a reason. So's the soul sand as well, and so that's the slime reducer. It reduces them all the way down to the smallest size. So we'll see a few more of those over here. This might have been an earlier design of mine. I can hear a strange noise over here. Actually, maybe not. I think it was just an animal making a noise. Oh, what's this over here? Okay, this looks like some of the early parts of me making my potion stand that I showed you a moment ago. This is Red Eye's slime reducer over here. Let's activate this one. Let's put some slimes in here. So his can obviously take a larger amount of slimes all at once because it's got all these lanes. Let's have a look at it from the side. There we go, and they're all coming out small as well. It's pretty cool how they work. I think slimes can't jump when they're on soul sand. I could be wrong. Actually, it does sound wrong. I'm not sure. And there you go. Now we've got a load of little slimes down the end here. Let's add a few more up there and see how many we can get. Probably going to make a lot of noise and lag doing this, but it's funny. There we go. That's tons of them. Oh, let's get out there. I like this one that Red Eyes has got because they come through at a really fast rate, and now they're making a lot of noise actually. Yeah, look at that go. That's cool. You know, I'd like to do this in survival, you know, make a slime farm just for having loads of slimes come through like this. It looks so cool. Anyway, let's kill these guys off because they're making a racket. There you go, best way to get rid of mobs. Use the splash potions. Boom, there we go, all gone. So over here are some of his alternative designs. And then this is the one I talked about a moment ago with the cat. I don't know what this is. I think this is a spider elevator that I was working on. That looks about right. I think this actually worked for a while as well. But it was just kind of bulky, so I never made a video about that. This is some sort of... what is this? It's an RS Norlatch array, but of what sort I'm not quite sure. So standing on that side does nothing. Standing on that side keeps it the same. I'm really not sure how that works or what the point of that is. Okay, but it's there. So more animal breeding things around here. These look like just the regular copy and pasting. I think this is the bit where I copied loads of cats into these ones, and it was around here I was doing something in the sky and they all teleported up to me, which was hilarious. This is the... what's it called? The name won't come back to me. It's a minecart station. It's tileable, so it's a tileable minecart station. Not sure if this works anymore, but the idea was that you would select a destination over here, and when your minecart rode off, it would then go along, and then somewhere along here the track would be turned by this redstone. You would get sent off to the side like that. But when you came back the other way, you would also turn like this and go all the way down here and back onto that track. And that was a pretty cool little project, that. But a lot of people had trouble getting it to work. There was one of those north, south, east, whatever they're called, quirks that stopped it working depending on what rotation you built it on, which was quite unfortunate, and I didn't discover that when doing my testing, which is a bit of a shame. This I am actually going to go right past because that is not my project, that is someone else's, and they might want to pick it up and continue it again. So I'll leave you guessing on that one, sorry. That's just how it's going to be. So we have been round a lot of this now. This is something Red Eyes was working on. When you see big chunks of land like this, it usually means I've imported it from someone else's land. So this thing over here, you may be wondering what this is. It is a really crazy thing that a bunch of people on the Minecraft forums discovered, where your boat used to put a boat down and it would clip into the side of a piston. Now pistons are kind of instant or something along those lines, so when the pistons pushed you forward, you would activate the next ones, which would push you over to here and something like that. And it was designed so you could go down this way and then you could go back again, because it would push these half slabs over and the pistons would push them in a certain direction, something like that. I never really fully understood how it works, but it's since been patched, and I was just building it and testing it in the test world. And yeah, that would push you all the way down here. So as I go along, notice how all of these are getting shifted forward. In fact, that's a really good example. So when I come back from the other way, they're all going to get shifted this way. And the way the half slab clipped into the half slab, sorry, the boat clipped into the half slab on either side, you'd go along with it, and it would happen pretty much instantly. You'd go from all the way down there, and all of a sudden you'd be down the end here. And I remember watching Biffa. He built one, a really long one in his world. It went for like a really long distance, and I think a couple of weeks after he made it, they patched it, which is unfortunate. So we've seen pretty much everything over on that side now. We've seen a little bit of the mob spawner and this stuff here. That's a tree farm, by the way. So these things right here, I do believe, are my wall regeneration cells. So the idea here was that you would contain sheep, and this came after building this thing over here. You contain the sheep in this area, and when you wanted to shear them, you would shear them, and then all their wool would fall into the water and go into the stream down here, and you could collect it from the end. So all this talking is making my voice go a little bit sore, so we'll have to pick things up and finish this off. Here's another primitive design. This is some other sort of breeding bay that I've been working on. Not sure what that is or why that platform's there. What's around the back here? Ah, this is... yeah, this is one of these things. Oh! The old... I forget the name of it. But yeah, you've seen it before, I'm sure. You put the seeds down on there and then it gives you bone meal. The bread maker, that's the name, the bread maker. This is the restart room. This is before I started working on the quick kit, so we might see that around here. And it looks like it's empty, but basically the layout here is designed to activate all of these dispensers. And why is that actually not working? I think it's been disconnected. Ah, there you go. So for testing purposes, I've collected all the different colours of wool there. So you can walk up to that room and get a whole bunch of different items all at once. That was a concept by Efo, and he never made a tutorial on it or anything like that, and then someone suggested the concept at some point, or for some reason I found my way to it and decided to make that and make a little tutorial. This is probably the same sort of thing going on right here. I think this is where I was trying to give you the items in order, because there you go, you can see there it gives you them in order. That didn't work out too well. Probably another design of the same thing right here, kind of bulky, probably doesn't do a good job of it as well, and that looks like the first restart kit over there. I call that restart kit, quick kit is what I think I ended up calling it. Or was that the name that Efo gave it? This looks like a pulse length, and I'm not sure how we activate this or where from. There's a lot of stuff going on over here that I'm not too sure about now. I kind of remember this. This is like a test that I was doing, can't remember what for. Yeah, so this is the first quick kit. Let's have a look and see if it works still. Probably won't, but we'll find out. Where do I go? Would be a good thing to know. I go over here. Okay, so we press that. Oh, that's good to see. It still works. So it's giving us the wall in order, and then it... ah, now that's broken, isn't it? Can I fix that? Probably not. Actually, I think I could fix it if I used a repeater, but there's probably not a place to put it in now. This pig's climbing up it. Be careful. There we go. Oh. Right, so... how does that thing stop then? Well, it's stopped now, so we'll leave it like that. Obviously it doesn't work anymore, but these dispensers would have items in them, and then they would rapidly pulse. And at some point, this circuit over here, and again we're clearing the weather, this circuit over here would... come back round, go back down to this bit, and then that would extend and stop this. So it'd stop giving you items. So over here I copied it. I think I rotated it a bunch of times to find out if it had any north, southeast problems, which it didn't. So that's what all of that is. That over there I don't know what it is. We kind of covered all these things. That looks actually quite uninteresting. And so over here this is some other stuff that I can't really show you in great detail. I don't know what this is, but it looks pretty random. I think this was when Red Eyes was doing some testing, and he would drop mobs at different heights, and at some heights they would take full damage, and at other ones they wouldn't. And there were these strange intervals where they wouldn't take damage. And that's what probably all of that is, him doing some testing. In fact, all of this over the back here now I think is Red Eyes' stuff, because if you have a look at the world it's all lowered. And these are just various things that he was working on and he sent to me. Yeah, this is all part of the project that he was working on. So we're going to go back in this direction, and I think that is actually everything covered now. Looks like I had an experiment with villager breeding over here that kind of worked. There's a bunch of iron golems and villagers everywhere. And I'm going to have a quick fly around and see if I missed anything. Okay, there's a little patch just over here that I think I missed. So there's some sort of melon farm here that apparently doesn't work. Maybe that's supposed to be hooked up. There you go. Walk in and get your melons, walk out the other side, and something else happens. I think that's how that was supposed to work. That's actually quite a nice little design, a little walk through melon farm. I probably forgot to make a tutorial on that. That seems like something I would have made a video on. We got an animal breeder rotator here. We have the first workings of the boat dock. I then copied this into a test world and worked on it for ages. So if you haven't seen this, Boats used to do damage to the player a lot, and so we needed a boat docking system, and I really can't remember too much about how this works, but the idea was that you would land on the soul sand and that would stop you from taking damage, and then when you went through, when you wanted to take off again, you'd press a button, it would send you through the back there, which would send you over the top and back out the way you came in. And I think since then I built an even better design in xisumo's world, which I never actually made a tutorial on, and now I don't think there's any need for them, so I'm not sure about that. Then over here is where I compacted the bread maker, I do believe, or made a new one. I think this is where I made it using the light to harvest rather than whatever method was used before, so it's slightly faster and more compact. Then over here we have the spider farm, I do believe one of these is. This is it right here. So inside there is a spider spawner. The spiders will come down the end here and you can crush them using this circuit that has a timer, and then there'll be one hit kill. But I never made a tutorial on that. I think I made a video where I released it. It was just because doing tutorials on mob spawners takes a long time and I wasn't really in the mood for it. We got a chicken farm design over here that never really worked out. This was a mushroom farm design. You're supposed to put the mushrooms in the little gaps because the water for some reason doesn't flow into those areas, and so then the mushrooms could grow in this space here, but I never really finished that either. This, don't even know what that does. Not a clue. Yep, I have no idea what that is supposed to do. So there's a bunch of minecarts everywhere down here. That's the mob spawner. We had a look at that. There's a few mob spawners inside there, I do believe, as well. And that is pretty much everything, I think. There is one more thing that I wanted to show you. It's right here in the middle. It's this thing here. This was like a little experiment. In fact, let's change the time like that so you can see what's going on in here. I thought it'd be interesting if mobs could spawn on top of fence gates that were like this. Well, not like that, but oh, well, I've messed that up now. It changed direction when I clicked on it. Or did it? Why is that one facing the other way now? How strange. Anyway, I thought it would be funny if mobs were able to spawn on here and then they'd fall straight through. So I made that, and of course they couldn't spawn on there. But I like the way it looks when you move around like this. So there you go, that is the end of our test world exploration. I'm hoping that you guys have seen a bunch of cool things here that have inspired you to come up with some ideas yourself. The world is not going to be available for download. It's my own little test world from a long time ago, and I kind of like just keeping it to myself. But I hope you've enjoyed the tour of it. I've definitely seen some things that I need to think about and think, can we make farms out of those again, or should I pick that idea back up and run with it, because there's a few things here that I want to get back to working on. And so that is it. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.